Hi guys, it's Matthew here. Welcome on in to another video on my channel today. And in today's video, guys, I actually just watched Kraven the Hunter. Yes, I did not go to the theater to see that movie, but since I just watched it, I thought it might be a good idea to rank all six Spider-Man villain well, I guess there's Spider-Man Sony villain spin-off movies in the Spider-Man universe, as a matter of fact. So yes, I thought this might be a good idea to do a ranking of all of them. I was thinking about doing a ranking of all of them anyhow, because I thought it might be a good idea because I've seen other people rank them, as a matter of fact, and I will say my list is completely different from the other lists that I've seen, but be sure to share your ranking down below in the comment section, guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that here on the channel. So if you guys like to watch anything like that on YouTube and want to share your love and support, be sure you hit that like button as well as that red subscribe button. But most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future, guys. And with all that out of the way, enjoy the video. Let's get started at number 6, as a matter of fact. So if you guys have followed me for any determined amount of time, at this point, you will not be shocked on what I'm about to put in last place. And to give you guys my honest opinion, yes, after we got Morbius and Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web, my last place pick still goes to Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have followed me on this channel for any determined amount of time, you guys know that I am not a fan of Venom: Let There Be Carnage. This movie, in my mind, I wouldn't call it a dumpster fire necessarily, but the issue with this movie is it's just really horribly written, and it's not written in a good way, and I feel like this movie wasn't developed very well at all. Like the story was just lackluster. It didn't even feel like an original sequel. Here's what I thought they were thinking with Venom: Let There Be Carnage. What would a Venom movie look like if we rehashed the first Venom, brought in Carnage, and if we were more focused on violence than a story? And in my opinion, this movie doesn't do anything for me. To me, it just feels like they introduced Venom in the first movie, and then since they got his whole story introduced, they did a sequel to that just so they can do a Venom movie with Carnage. And I am not a fan of Carnage because he feels like a ripoff of Venom. I mean, I get it. Carnage is a symbiote like Venom, but excuse me, guys. But in my opinion, I don't really understand the whole point of his character. I don't get his origin story like at all. I've actually heard people say that Carnage is Venom's son, but yeah, I do not see the massive appeal with this movie, nor do I see the massive appeal with Carnage here. So yeah, overall as a movie, this movie is just like a complete mess, and it's not a mess I really enjoy, to be completely honest. Up next at number 5, I am going with Morbius. So now a lot of people say this movie is worse than Venom Let There Be Carnage. And I actually do not understand why. Because because I would put this one in last place if it was the same case scenario with Venom Let There Be Carnage, but it's not, because Morbius is a completely different Spider-Man villain compared to Venom and Carnage. And this is another case scenario where this is another movie on this list that isn't very well written, in my opinion. I feel like the story needed some work. The character development could use a little bit of work. This movie has a lot of problems, and I feel like this movie could have been better, in my opinion. It may have not been like a great or an outstanding movie, but I felt like this movie could have been better than what it turned out to be. And what really saves this movie for being in last place is, for one, it doesn't feel like a direct rehash of another Spider-Man movie, and two, I actually really like the whole concept of Morbius. I really like his whole character design and whatnot. So I get some enjoyment out of this movie, but overall, as like a movie, it's not a very good movie, in my opinion. I will 100% agree with that. This is not a very good movie. I will 100% agree, but to be honest, I do not think that this movie is as bad as people make it out to be, in my opinion. Alright, moving into number 4 now, we have Kraven the Hunter. So now, to be honest, I kind of enjoyed this movie. I would say that this movie is like an okay to like a good movie, though, in my opinion. So still, it's not an outstanding movie at all whatsoever. But I feel like this movie does get a boost from Morbius, though, because this is a very entertaining movie. I would even say that this one is probably the most action-packed out of every one of these movies, because there's gunfights in this movies. There's Kraven cutting people up and whatnot. So yeah, this, in my opinion, this is probably the most action-packed out of every movie on this list. And that's why it's a little higher up for me, in my opinion. And yes, this is like I said, this is an okay to a good movie, because it's not a great movie. The story needed some work. Just like in Morbius, there was some other stuff that I feel like that needed to be improved with this movie, but yeah, for the most part, I think it's an entertaining movie, but it's like not like an outstanding or like god tier or great movie or anything. I will 100% agree with that. And yet again, this is another movie that I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be. Up next, at number 3, I'm gonna go with Madam Web. So now, excuse me, guys. So now with this movie's way, way, way overhated, and I don't get why this movie is so overhated, because I really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered, and the big reasoning for me liking this movie, guys, is because I am not a massive Spider-Man fan like some of you other people are. So what the big thing that I thought was interesting about this movie is that it's a prequel to an origin story in the Spider-Man comics. So for those of you guys that don't know like the main story about these four Spider Women that come together at the end of this movie, let me explain. So this is actually a prequel to an origin story where we see Mama Parker pregnant with Peter Parker, and then it's about these four Spider Women teaming up and trying to protect Mama Parker from being killed by a bad guy, so Peter can be born. So that's what the whole premise of Madam Web is. It's a prequel to that origin story. So what took place before that is that this is explaining how all four of them met. And the main one that sees the future, yes, the one that protects the three teenage girls become the Spider Women with her in the future, and so in the end she goes blind. But before she goes blind, she can still see very well, and she gains the power to see the future. And what she sees in the future is these three girls becoming the Spider Women, and then this guy tries to kill them so they can't become the Spider Women in the future. And so she has to protect them and kill the guy so they could go home free. But in the end, all four of them come together. Madam Web goes blind, and then you have these four women that become the Spider Women. And then in like the very next part of this story that they're explaining is that and in the very next story in like, excuse me guys, I'm stuttering right now. The next part of the story that they explain, they're trying to protect Mama Parker. So that's the whole concept of Madam Web. And to be honest, that's what I kind of enjoyed about Madam Web, because an interesting fact is we never see Peter Parker's mom in the picture at all. At the beginning of everyone, at the beginning of like every era of Spider-Man, Peter is always with his Aunt May. He never starts out with his mom, so we never see his mom in the picture. So I think it's kind of interesting that they told a story that took place before Peter was even born. So that's what I really enjoyed about this movie. But yeah, I actually think that this is a good movie, and I feel like a lot of people don't give this movie enough credit, because I think I give it enough credit as it deserves. Up next at number 2, it was kind of a hard decision here, but I have to go with my gut on this one. At number 2, I am going with the first Venom. I actually remember when my dad took me to see the first Venom. this movie was a blast. It was really fun and exciting. It was funny. Like, if you're like a Spider-Man fan or like a Marvel fan of any sort, you would excuse me, you will enjoy this movie because it's pretty fun. I really do like what they do with this movie. I do think it's a blast for what it delivers. But yeah, I actually think it's just as good as my number one pick as of right now. So I'm not gonna say like too much about it, but I will say this is a very fun movie for me. But coming in at number one, I have to give it to Venom: The Last Dance. I know, I know, a lot of you people have said this is the worst of the Venom trilogy. I don't care what people say. This is my ranking and this is my personal opinion. And in my opinion, Venom: The Last Dance is the best out of the Venom trilogy and out of every one of these movies, because I really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered. I think it wraps up the Venom trilogy very well, actually. And what I really do like about this movie is that when there was some bad guys coming in to attack like the lab and whatnot, and Venom said, "Release the symbiotes," and then they go in to like doctors so they can like fight all the bad guys and whatnot. I thought that part was really cool. That final battle moment was pretty fun. So I feel like that's the big reason on why I have it above the first Venom. But yeah, so yeah. Yes, out of all the Venom movies, this is the one that I feel like I had the most fun with, and this is my favorite out of all 6 of these movies, in my personal opinion, and it easily comes in the first place in my ranking, as a matter of fact. So there you have it, guys. There's my ranking of all 6 Spider-Man Sony villain spin-off movies, as a matter of fact. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what's your ranking, as a matter of fact, and be sure you hit that like button as well as that red subscribe button, but most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. But without any further ado, guys, I'm gonna go bring you back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact, guys. But with that said, though, guys, take care, drink water, and stay safe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!